The legends of India tell us that when the goddess Ganga was asked to come down from heaven and enrich the land, she said, "I'm a furious river. Were I to come to earth untamed, I would destroy the land." So the Lord Shiva, in his Himalayan abode, caught Ganga in the locks of his hair as she descended, curbing her downward rush, making her the gentle, fertile river India has so long known and worshipped. But in the last 50 years, India's burgeoning population has in effect shorn Shiva's locks. And the soil erosion caused by deforestation in the Himalayas has made the once peaceful Ganga change her course restlessly, flooding the plains, silting up dams, wreaking the havoc she once foretold.
हमारे पुराने जीवन और आजकल के नए जीवन में क्या अंतर है?
हमारा पुराना जीवन जो था उसमें सब अच्छी थी और हम यानी प्राणी सत्ता के अनुसार काम करते थे, मिलजुल कर सब रहते थे.
In ancient times, we lived together in harmony with our environment, according to the scriptures. As the population grew, our thoughts changed. Now again, we are following our ancient teachings and we find them very good. The Dhauladhar project has taught us that our ancient ways were right and that we should live together as we once did.
काम करना, काम सिखाना, काम सीखना, हर से प्यार करना. तेरी पूजन करते हैं हम लोग, शांति कर रहा है, हमेशा करे हाँ जो सुख देना, सारे सुख देना. जय हो, जय हो, जय हो, जय.
The Indo-German Dhauladhar project is a multi-sectoral joint cooperative venture between the German Agency for Technical Cooperation and the government of Himachal Pradesh in India. The project was started in 1980 on 270 square kilometers around the Binva catchment in the lower Himalayas. The goal of the project was ecological regeneration along with the economic upliftment of the people living there.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
R.R. Diman, Section Manager, Social Development.
The first problem the project had to face was how to make an intervention. We had 100 villages in the project area with 6,000 families and a population of 36,000. If we started work on all 100 villages, we would not have known how to start and what was needed. We would not have had a proper package, so we started with those villages which would show results quickly and others would follow. We called this the Key Village Scheme. Now the 9 key villages. Our project team went in and discussed with the villagers what their priorities were and should have been. We called this the first entry and it was part of our extension strategy. The villages we enrolled into our scheme were called partner villages.
In order to make the people aware of their role in the ecology of the region, the project employs a team of village motivators who are in continuous contact with the people. Lakshman Singh is one of them. He holds a bachelor's degree. His brothers are away, employed in the army or in factories in the plains, and Lakshman manages his father's holdings.
I'll tell you about our work in the project. There are many programs. For instance, self-employment, agriculture, animal husbandry. We teach the people that if they pay attention to all these aspects, our burdens will be decreased. We give fertilizers and seeds to the farmers and make reports.
खाद बीज वो भी देते हैं इसकी जो पूरी रिपोर्ट है वो हम अपने बैजनाथ कार्यालय में देते हैं ये हमारा ग्राम सेवक का काम है नमस्ते जी
नमस्ते
सुना ठीक ठाक
ठीक ठाक
क्या काम कर रहे हैं
बस लगे
The role of village motivators is bringing about not only awareness about ecological problems, but also in engendering that most elusive of development goals, a change in behavior. Their success is acknowledged by the villagers.
The Dhauladhar village motivators asked for our common lands to fence off for reforestation and said it would be useful for us. At first we refused, but they continued to talk to us and finally convinced us that we would benefit. And we did find that this was so. Today we get much more fodder and fuel from the forests than before. The villagers get very good results from the forest.
Twice a month, the village motivators meet with the 8 section managers of the project: forestry, agriculture, horticulture, animal husbandry, self-employment, soil and water conservation, alternate energy and social welfare. These section managers are seconded from the government to the project. The village motivators clarify questions, receive instructions on the schemes and spend their time following up the various programs.
ये नहीं बताया कि उसके लिए क्वालिफिकेशन कितनी है कम से कम मैट्रिक है या सभी के लिए सब उसमें मतलब अपने एप्लीकेशन दे सकते हैं और ट्रेनिंग ले सकते हैं
Here, bamboo poles, which make up the distinctive Dhauladhar fence, are being dipped in tar for protection. An outstanding sign of behavior change is that there is not a cow to be seen grazing in the fenced-off common lands, not a goat nibbling on tender saplings, and most importantly, not a forest guard to be seen patrolling the fences.
The people who have hereditary rights to these common lands patrol these fences themselves. Each village has formed a village development committee which safeguards new plantations, decides on the rotational use of pastures, and divides the fodder amongst the villagers.
The village development committees, which are set up by the project, interact closely with the Gram Panchayats, the group of village elders, in each village, where traditionally decisions are made.
Before 1980, we were in great difficulties. Since the project was started, we have some help. Before, we had too many cattle and very little fodder. Now we have enough to feed our cattle.
P.C. Sharma, Section Manager, Forestry.
First of all, our degraded forest. There are 2 types of degraded forest. First are these barn oak degraded forests, where we are planting the same species, that is the barn oak. And then there are cheel degraded forests, where we are planting cheel plants. Then in social forestry, we are planting on the government lands, and we are taking mainly the planting of fodder trees, and which comprise of Rovinia, Kachanar, this Bahunia, and Oi. Then we are taking up the people plantation, where we plant trees in the private lands.
Our village motivator told us that if we didn't cooperate with the project in reforesting our own common lands, we would be the ones to suffer, and protecting our lands is our own responsibility.
After the project came, we had many benefits. We used to have to go far for our fuel wood. We had cut all our trees. Our men folk went away to work, so we women had to do all the work.
Mrs. V. Parmar, Section Manager, Agriculture.
Balanced fertilizers and pest control. We have increased 25% of yield in the project area.
Regular farmers' meetings are held in which issues related to agriculture are discussed. Each village in the project area has organized a women's group, a Mahila Mandal, which meets to discuss issues of importance to women, training for income generation, horticulture, health. The women have just agreed that their closing down an illicit distillery has been very beneficial for their husbands. Subhadra is a village motivator. She has 2 children. Her husband is a school teacher.
First, we had told the village women that they should start up a Mahila Mandal and told them the benefits of having a Mahila Mandal and what they would learn. The benefit of the pressure cooker is that less fuel is consumed and that food is quickly cooked.
महिला मंडल के बारे में जानकारी दी कि महिला मंडल बनाने के क्या लाभ होते हैं तथा इकट्ठे बैठकर किन किन चीजों का ज्ञान आता है.
One of the most successful innovations of the project has been the Dhauladhar chula. It is inexpensive, easy to construct, and has a system of dampers and chimneys which ensures a diminished consumption of fuel wood.
The chulha has been very useful. We don't have to clean the kitchen as often as we used to. The utensils remain clean. We used to have to go very far to gather fuel wood. Now we don't use up so many trees.
Solar cooker chawal rajma.
In a solar cooker, we can make many kinds of foods, including bread. It takes about 2 hours. We save time and fuel.
N.K. Gupta, Section Manager, Alternate Energy.
All sections work directly or indirectly to conserve the forest. Alternate energy is the direct way. With the chula, we save 31% fuel wood. We have also provided a solar cooker. It is made of local materials. We have taught the people the few technical points to make the cooker. The people make these themselves.
Closely aligned to the lives of the women, the horticulture section encourages them to cultivate community and personal orchards and vegetable gardens.
We take care of the orchard ourselves and the proceeds go to the Mahila Mandal.
P.C. Sharma, Section Manager, Horticulture.
For this section, we first needed a nursery. So we established one in Paprola. We prepare plants which thrive in this environment and give them to the villages. We have distributed 1.5 lakh plants.
One of the major duties of the village motivators is to encourage the people to take up non-forest-based employment. While project officials acknowledge that turning people away from their traditional employment is difficult, and several programs such as beekeeping, sericulture and mulberry farming have failed, there have been some successes.
The project gave us a subsidy of rupees 800. We bought a loom and started earning rupees 200 to rupees 300 per month. Soon we bought a second loom and soon we had more people working and more looms. The project helped us to market our products in Shimla and Srinagar and Delhi at their own expense.
S.K. Sharma, Section Manager, Self-Employment.
This way, we have started 260 units and have given employment to over 500 people. 250 more have been given indirect employment.
Rabbit rearing for Angora wool has proved profitable for some villagers, creating alternative employment which has taken many goats and sheep off the land.
The Dhauladhar project gave us 12 rabbits. Now we have 60. We have sold 6,000 to 7,000 rupees worth of wool. We have now bought a TV.
I am a Gaddi. I had 300 sheep. I took training in the project in rabbit breeding. They gave me 10 females and 2 males. After 6 to 7 months, I had 60 rabbits. I sold rupees 6,000 worth of wool in 7 months. So I left off goats and sheep in favor of rabbits. Now I'll make a bigger shed for them.
A yearly cattle fair demonstrates the pride villagers take with their cattle. Crossbreeding local cattle with Jersey bulls has ensured higher milk yield, and villagers are now willing to take the trouble to stall feed their animals rather than allow them to graze free, devouring fragile ground cover which causes soil erosion and tramples the earth below, hardening it and causing water flow off and degradation of the soil. Dr. R.S. Kaushal, Section Manager, Animal Husbandry.
We have 16 breeding centers, 8 bulls and 8 mobile insemination centers. With natural breeding, we get good results, about 72% pregnancies.
Although one can see weak, unhealthy cattle still grazing free until they die, a significant indicator of behavior change has been the willingness of people to send their old, useless cattle to a Gosadhan, an old-age home for cattle.
When the Dhauladhar project started, they wanted us to give our old and useless cows to them, to put them in Gosadhans. But we refused. We thought they would kill them and make them into shoes. So we clearly said no. We were sure they wouldn't look after the cattle. But then they took us on trucks to Khajian and we saw the cattle were all right.
Now many villages have hygienically constructed cattle sheds where cattle are stall fed. The most difficult people to reach have been the Gaddis, migratory shepherds, who take their flocks annually from the lowland villages to the high mountain pastures and back, damaging forests and pastures on the way. Here the project has admitted almost total defeat. However, in order to gain the trust and confidence of the Gaddis, services to upgrade the flocks have been placed in the migration routes of the shepherds. The idea is to set up a dialogue with the most conservative and intransigent group of people, not to change their lifestyle. The project has initiated several measures to gain the trust and confidence of the people in general. These are truco measures, which enable people to tide over the changeover period to a new lifestyle.
The use of dipping and drenching is to kill bacteria. inside the animal and out. There is an increase in output of wool by 20%.
The slopes used to be bare. Because of this, there was a big landslide. Soil was washed away. Houses were damaged. Some people died. The Dhauladhar project, they put check dams and plants. The people had work to do. They built houses. We have many benefits from the project.
The work of the Soil Water Conservation section is very visible and greatly appreciated by the people, as Ganga Devi has just affirmed. Lift irrigation, canals, culverts, check dams to shore up hillsides are a few of the works of this section. D.K. Avasti, Section Manager, Soil and Water Conservation.
We use a net of GI wires to hold the boulders together. We make the check dam in steps, broader at the bottom, narrower on the top, so the force of water decreases as it descends. We make check dams in drains and ravines, where water cuts into the sides to slow down the force of the water and stop soil erosion.
और वो पानी जो है उसकी वेलोसिटी कम हो जाने की वजह से वो मिट्टी बहती नहीं है और वो साइड जो है वो कटती नहीं है। क्या बात है? बैठा 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 करना है एक कणक थी मेरे थोड़े दे हैं जब फिलाने सिले दाने निकल
Yuvat mandals or youth groups have voluntarily written and enacted open-air street plays, a folk media appreciated and understood by the people to disseminate project messages on ecology. This project comes under the purview of the Social Welfare Department and is encouraged and supported by the village motivators.
दफ्तर खुले तुम्हारा क्या दफ्तर है ना मुझे ना नहीं होता दौलाधार दार दूर क्या दशहर है दार दूर नहीं दौलाधार अच्छा 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 मैं समझ जाऊंगा अच्छा नहीं है ना ये 5-4 साल और क्या है ऐसा गरीब में बड़ा फायदा है ना फायदा ही है ना बड़ा फायदा होया बड़ा फायदा होया
Dr. E. Zurich, team leader.
You see, this Dhauladhar project is the first of its kind. It's a new approach, an integrated approach, where we are trying to integrate all measures required to rehabilitate and to sustain the ecological environment. This is one of the reasons why the project has on one hand taken a long period, and on the other hand it was quite expensive by your standards and by our standards too, but since the experience had to develop first, it was a kind of trial and error process. This trial and error process would be much too expensive if this project remains the only of its kind.
The project staff continuously throw the responsibility of their lives back onto the people themselves. The social development staff has reached into the school system, giving regular ecology classes to the students.
On earth, we have many things which help us live. But to make use of what the earth can give us, we have to know how nature works. If we do this well, we will protect the environment. The Doordarshan project has been helping us to rehabilitate our ecology.
P.L. Cole, project manager.
That there is a conception normally that development means destruction. here in the project we have tried to show that economic development is possible without destruction. Rather, eco-development is possible, that is development without destruction. And we have tried to show to the people that there is a strong link between ecology and economy. We have tried to show them that poverty and destruction of forests is linked.
While not all the programs initiated by the project are outright successes, a sufficient number have taken firm root. So we are able to say that an integrated multi-sectoral approach, intensively applied, with the full involvement of the people, is the only way to ensure a long-term reforestation of mountain regions. This experiment has clearly demonstrated that if traditions are respected, the people will be responsible for their environment. While the project has not fully replenished Shiva'S locks, it has sown the seeds of ecological awareness in the current generation and in the next. If the lessons are sustained, a major catastrophe can be averted in the mountains of Shiva and the great Gangetic plains below.